I'm looking at this thing that I don't want and getting more of it, so I'm looking at it and getting more of it, so I'm looking at it and getting more of it and looking at it and getting more of it. Is there something missing in the explanation? I see this thing I do not want, and the more I look at it, the more I get of it, so I think I will look at it some more. And we say, the thing that's missing is you have forgotten that you get what you think about, you get what you feel about, you get what you practice yourself into vibrational accord with. And we know it's much easier to keep thinking a thought you've been thinking. We watch you. We have offered blocks of thought to Esther for many, many years, watching her find new words that match those blocks of thought in order to help you from the inside out reorient yourself in this time-space reality. Because you become so accustomed to feeling the same way that you always felt when a certain condition or word or conversation is offered to you. It's just easier to keep offering the vibration that you've been offering, even if it brings back to you something that you don't want. For example, it's easy in this economic climate to think about shortage of money, even though more wealth is being made by some people at this time than in all of the history of economics. But still, it's easier for most people to focus on shortage. It's easy for most people to focus upon the decline of their physical apparatus as they worry about their physical well-being, especially as they project themselves into the future. It's much easier if you walk about and if you were to be so bold as to say, I believe in my physical wellness. If you walked down any street in any city proclaiming your confidence in your well-being, you would be inundated with well-meaning, completely wrong people who would come forward to let you know you should not be so overly optimistic because haven't you heard about this or this or this or this or this? The facts of manifestation would be presented to you in order to get you to be convinced in your own vulnerability. And we want you to understand that even amidst all of this pessimism, it is astonishing to us to see people frantic about a healthcare system that from our point of view, you want never to need. It's like planning for your personal decline and everyone else's as well. Now, we are not encouraging you to not help out anyone who needs help. We just think that if you are convincing yourself all day, every day about your decline, Esther will listen to a comedian on television talking about old people, old, decrepit, declining, sexually devalued people. And she always says the same thing back to them. That's going to come back and bite you in the butt. Because they're not talking about themselves today, but they're talking about moving through time, and they are planning decline for everyone they see, and they are not leaving themselves out of it, we promise you. So what we're wanting you to understand is that what is, even if almost everybody you know has almost the same, similar, and maybe by your standard not wanted experience, it still has nothing to do with you, except that your attention to this unwanted experience causes you to practice the frequency of it, which means it will become your experience. And then they say, see, I was right. And we say, you weren't right, you were influential. You influenced people into a vibrational pattern of thought that did not serve them. And had they been aware that the emotion that they are feeling is their indication, it's not serving me now, it's not serving me now, it's not serving me now, it's not serving me now. And if you cared more about how you feel than about being politically correct or medically correct or statistically accurate, Esther will say, but Abraham, it's true. And we say, do you even know what those words mean? It's true. It's true. Do you know what it's true means? The phrase it's true simply means somebody gave their attention to something long enough to achieve a vibrational alignment with it, and law of attraction gave them what they were thinking about. That's what it's true means. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would at least add another phrase to the words it's true. And that other phrase would be, it's true and I want some of it. It's true and I want some of it. Because if it's true and you don't want any of it, it being true is not good enough reason for you to give your attention to it. Play it for a little while, over the next 5 or 10 days. It's true, but I don't think I would like any of that. But it's really true, but I don't think I would like any of that. It's going to be quite shocking to you how many things you give your attention to that are true, that you don't want to activate in your vibration, but you are because it's true. And we're encouraging you today to find a new criteria, a criteria that the source within you has found long ago. The criteria to give your attention to something is, does this that I'm holding as my object of attention resonate with the true core of my being? In other words, does it feel good when I think about it? This thing that I'm focused upon, is it in such vibrational sync with the source within me that when I focus upon it, I'm wide open to the energy that creates worlds, allowing the cells of my body to accurately communicate with one another, bringing me thriving resonance and well-being? That's the sort of truth we would encourage you to look for. The truth, the only truth, of pure positive energy that ripples through your being when you find alignment with the source within you. That's truth. That's truth that will serve you. That's truth that will refuel you. That's truth that will rebalance you. That's truth that will give you clarity. We are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. We just have a few things that we want you to remember before we begin, and that is, you are source energy in physical bodies, and you have vibration at your core. And the source within you, who you refer to as non-physical because you cannot see with your eyes usually, or hear with your ears usually, or smell with your nose, or taste with your tongue, or feel with your fingertips. You cannot translate what you believe to be non-physical through your physical format. So you make this really stark distinction between non-physical, which is by your standards for the most part unseen, and physical that you can count clumps on chairs about. And we want you to understand that the distinction between physical and non-physical, we would not make it at all, because there is a vibrational basis to all that is that you have full access to while you're here physically focused. And when you decide that you're going to find the feeling, the vibrational resonance with the source within you, now you will allow yourself to be the extension of source energy focused here in this physical body, reveling in the physical experience in the way that you intended to. You said, I'll go forth a part of this source energy into a physical body, and I will explore the variety. And as I explore that contrast, I will personally discern from my own important point of view what's wanted and what is more preferred from the mix that I am experiencing. And so you're doing just that. Every time you bump up against life experience, you evaluate it from your point of view. And we want you to understand that your point of view is not the new point of view of this new little person who has come into this physical experience. You've got an eternally based point of view. You've got a source energy point of view. You have a love-based, secure, worthy point of view. And everything that you experience in your physical life is being played against that vibrational knowing of who you are. So when you were really little and some teacher who was in a very bad mood for who knows whatever reason chose to choose you as the one to make us his example of someone who was inappropriate, and he shined his spotlight of disapproval all over you, and you felt horrid, the reason you felt so awful is because he activated within you a vibration that the source within you will never, ever, 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 ever activate. He caused you to focus upon yourself in a diminished way. And that diminishment that you activated was so foreign to the vibrational frequency of the source within you who loves you that you felt that agonizing negative emotion that he convinced you over time was just your feeling of guilt or your feeling of acknowledging of your wrongdoing. And we say, it was nothing of the kind. It was just your early departure from who you really are and the beginning of your forgetting the worthiness of who you are. So many of our beloved physical friends look to other physical beings for approval. You're born into a family who convinces you pretty early on that if you behave this way, we will smile and praise and reward. And if you behave this way, we will frown and condemn and maybe even punish and withhold. And so you began early on to acclimate to what others seemed to be doing in response to what you were doing. You let them train you away from the frequency of source to a frequency that is fickle and disturbingly well, it moves about a lot, doesn't it? Have you ever stood on your head to try to please someone, and just when you think you're right where they want you to be, they change their mind and they ask for something else? You think, oh, I need to completely reorient myself. I thought we had an agreement here. And suddenly everything is upended. And we say, when you look to any other as your basis of stability or your basis of well-being, you're in for a rough ride. Where if you are all day, every day, measuring your vibration against the vibration of the source within you, it doesn't take any time for you at all to figure out that who you really are is one who loves. And when you find a reason not to, you're out of whack. Who you really are is someone who knows your own value. And when you are not looking at your own value, you're out of whack. You are someone who really appreciates the value of others. And when you find fault in another, you're out of whack. You are someone who knows the value of your physical beingness. And when you feel diminished about your physicality, you're out of whack. So everything that we talk about in these gatherings, even though it is all based upon the powerful law of attraction, these are the gatherings that we are calling the art of allowing, because it's you figuring out consciously, steadily, chronically, how to allow yourself to be a vibrational match to the source that is really who you are. And when you figure that out, now you're walking around in these magnificent physical bodies, but you are so practiced into the vibrational frequency of who you are that there is no separation, no pinching off between you and you. So when you stand in a moment and you hold someone as your object of attention with all of the love of source pouring through you, they benefit by their interaction with you because you are who you really are. When you hold something like a government or a condition, when you focus upon your planet as a whole or a segment of it or an individual or a movement, when you focus upon any aspect of your life experience and you stand inside this vortex of alignment, in vibrational alignment, in vibrational resonance, in vibrational beingness with all that you are, oh, what a beautiful planet you see. What a beautiful person you behold. But when you get crossways of that current and are not looking at your world through the eyes of source, when you're looking at your world through the eyes of shortage of lovers, shortage of money, shortage of something you want, we want, by the end of this gathering today, for you to realize that the only shortage that is ever evidenced by any negative experience or emotion that you ever find is your personal shortage of alignment with who you are.